Richard, ahead of the game against Watford. Bournemouth obviously went there and lost 6-1 at the start of the season. What sort of game can you be expecting here on Saturday?
Well, clearly a difficult game, like you always get in the Championship. Much changed situation for Watford than when we went there. It was a strange afternoon at Vicarage Road, the league game, where I thought we did really well for 45 minutes. Found ourselves at 1-1, ended up losing 6-1, which was a tad harsh on a performance that afternoon. Went back there within a couple of weeks, I think, and played in the League Cup, and once again a little bit unlucky, but lost 2-0. They're clearly a very strong team, so even though there have been changes at management level since then, the majority of the players, if all of them, probably will still be there. So we know that there's some very good players. They play a particular type of brand of football. I imagine they will have continued that, seeing as they've got another manager with the same sort of philosophies. So we can expect a tough afternoon.
Just tell us about that brand of football, because obviously you know quite a lot about Italian football.
Yeah, well, the manager Serino was in charge of Chievo, who surprised everyone in Italy in Serie A. They came from Norway to get into Serie A, and Serino had a very important spell managing them, and he played a really entertaining brand of football, a type of football that got them into the top echelons of Serie A and competing with the big boys in there, which a club on Chievo's budget was very difficult. So I imagine he'll want to play a similar type of football that Gianfranco Zola played for, that played with them, and the players they've got there definitely suit playing that possession style based football, which we like to do as well. So something's going to have to give, someone's going to have to find themselves more out of possession than they would like to, but I think it makes for an interesting encounter. They
were picked for promotion and then picked in the playoffs, and everybody thought that they were going to probably mount a serious promotion challenge this season, but it hasn't quite worked out. Any particular reasons can you see for that?
No, I can't see any. Now, to be honest, when we played them and halfway through the season you asked me the better teams we played, and their name definitely would come up. You can't account for what happens when you don't see teams. You've got your own things to worry about, and but themselves and Leicester definitely, and QPR of course really impressed me when we played them. So I'm surprised that things haven't panned out the way they would probably expected at the beginning of the season, and it's quite a sudden downturn, unfortunate, but they've steadied things recently, and I imagine that they'll climb the table. There's not a lot in it. You can go on a decent run of back-to-back wins, 3 or 4 wins even, and you find yourself in the playoff positions, even the points that both teams find themselves in the league. The counter-argument would be if the form isn't what you want it to be, within a couple of games you can find yourselves in trouble, so it's a key game for both teams.
I suppose being level on points with Watford is fairly good achievement for Bournemouth. Watford probably looking at it slightly differently.
I'd imagine because the expectations surrounding the two clubs would have been different at the beginning of the season. As you mentioned, with Watford missing out so narrowly on promotion last year, clearly that would have been the aim to at least replicate what they achieved last season. And we came in very much trying to prove ourselves at this level. That's not to say we don't have high ambitions. We do around here on a daily basis, in fact. But as I mentioned, even though league points-wise there's not a lot in it, the fact that it's so tight with winning 2 or 3 games can make all the difference in this division.
Thank you.